You'd expect the same lineup for tomorrow?
Not sure. Leaning that way with practice today, but I think we got some things in play. Having a back-to-back, we do not expect Fab to play back-to-back, so it just mattered whether he'll play that front end or that back end. Have to figure that out.
Just too soon right now?
Probably too soon. It's a quick turnaround. We had a little 5-on-5, but we had a little more emphasis on some face-off detail, some set detail, and obviously some special teams today. We weren't as concerned with some 5-on-5 things, so probably something we'll evaluate in the morning.
You going with Billy tomorrow?
Yep, Billy will play tomorrow.
Hey, Derek, I think the last 8 games, somewhere around there, the goals against are creeping up there. I know some of that was because Russo was out, but how much of a focus is that?
Yeah, I haven't thought of it like that. Good question, because I think our process has been very similar. The goals against have creeped up, but the chances against our underlying numbers have not. They've been pretty consistent with where we've been or when we've had some success. Now, is that good enough? I don't know. Is that a product from some goals we may want back? Maybe, but haven't really looked that closely in the goals against because our overall play has been fairly consistent with some underlying numbers.
Chances against are down. What are you seeing that's limiting those?
When we played 5-on-5, like last night was a perfect. We played a really good 5-on-5 game, and that's a game we won this year. That's a game that was very winnable in the middle of the second period. Unfortunately, just everything changed on their power play goal. I mean, it just felt like we were going to win that game last night until that power play goal, that's on us. That's a big part of the game, special teams. And so, again, our team defense, good last night, a couple plays out there, not great. But, man, I mean, it's 3 or 4 games, pretty happy with the way our 5-on-5 play's been.
Just to clarify, with Fabry, you expect him to play tomorrow and not in Toronto?
No, we were unsure. One of the two, he's torn either way. He says, it's my 8th year in the league. You know, if I was younger in the league, of course I'd want to play in Toronto. But it costs him a little money for tickets in Toronto, too. So I don't think he's fine either way.
And then just with line changes like that, how much is it to build that, like, the chemistry between the lines, right? When you're switching them around all the time, how much is to be said for keeping it the same?
Yeah, I think there's something. That's a great question. Yeah. There's even a little concern with some rhythm because we were playing fairly well and we had some consistency with some rhythms with our lines. So you put Fabs in there, you know, you're changing, you know, we purposely slotted him there because it only changed one line. And it was seamless. He actually played very well last night. Was there a couple of 5-on-5 goals he would want back that he was involved in the third? Yes, but he was pretty good. I mean, his compete, I mean, he set Sonny up for 2 glorious great games. Those both go in. We're sitting here talking about a 4-1 win and how great he was. That's our margin of winning, losing. It's not great. So there is something to that, but I thought for the most part it was seamless, and it's a credit to Fabs playing pretty well in his first 10 game back.
You talked a lot about kind of fresh starts for everyone. Like, how important has that been in the case of someone like Wallman who maybe didn't get this kind of opportunity before this?
Great, but he's earned it. Obviously a fresh start when he got in the lineup, but everything from that point on he's earned, and there's no doubt there's been some confidence growing in him. We hope he keeps building on it. We hope it's sustainable because that's a really good sign for him and us as a group.
What's he done specifically, or what are some of the things he's done?
I think he's taken out huge mistakes in his game. You don't see the high risk in his game. His compete's been great. He's winning battles. He is the reason we're getting some good exits and stops in our D zone and the puck's coming out. I think he has some good offensive instincts on the rush. He's able to help us create some offense from the offensive blue line, but I will take some of those battles he's won in our zone and has got us out as successful.
Could that be maturity sometimes, Derek, too? I mean, just getting a little older and a little
maybe. I think so. Maturity. Hopefully a little growth in his game. I'd credit Bob Bugner a little bit, talk about fresh starts. I think for the most part, we've had some pretty consistent seasons out of our D, which is good.
How important was last night to sort of pick out that shed?
Awesome. Want him to get rhythm, want to get his game in order. Stopped 27-28. Talked with Benny immediately after the game, and we've all seen those goalie games where you give up one, where it's whatever. But Benny said he was good and he was sharp. So I'm sure he'll play at least one or two more on the weekend. If he gets some rhythm, I mentioned it clearly the other day. We haven't given up on him, and he gets some rhythm. We'd be excited about getting him back in net here.
Last night, Bill Larkin spoke about the sense of urgency he feels on this team. How important is that to have, not just at the beginning of the season, but midway through the season and when times get tough?
Vastly important. I just think, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want to be negative on this group, but if we don't play at a high compete level, we're not going to have much of a chance. And we've given ourselves a chance. Again, you can pick us apart on some structure play at times, some missed opportunities. Like last night's perfect example with their penalty kill. But for the most part, our compete and our care level has been really good. And it's our job in the room to keep that at a high level.
Derek, it might be a bit early, but Saturday in Toronto, would you go back to Huso or?
Way too early, yeah. Like, I will say last night, the lack of volume he got would give us maybe that option. Let's see how Friday goes. Obviously, with another offensive minded team in Florida. But we were here earlier this year. He had played a back-to-back game because he had very little volume on the front end. And last night was a game where he did not have very much volume. If he sees another game like that on Friday, it's something we would entertain. Thanks, guys.